Options buyers buy the hype. I sell them the regret. Here's how I get paid monthly. Yo, what's going on, premium chasers? I hope you're having a God-blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get our high IV playbook, which is a must-read in this crazy market that we are living in. Today, I'm talking about options buyers versus options sellers and why options buyers are silly little gamblers. They're entering their casino right after a long day of work, and then they're going to take all that money, and then they're going to just be handing it to the casino. And that casino is us, options sellers. Today, I'm going to show you how you can be taking those poker chips from those absolutely desperate options buyers. But first, before we get all excited and we start collecting poker chips and getting it in the juice button, right? We got to understand what options buyers are and what option sellers are. So quick little overview. Some of you probably already know this, but I'm going to assume, right, if you're watching a YouTube video, you're fairly new to this game, right? Welcome. All right. So first things first, when you are buying a call, right, that is a silly options buyer, buying a call, you have the right to buy a stock at a strike price. The right to, you don't need to, you have the right to, okay? But for that, you have to pay a really, really big premium. Think of it this way, right? If I want to go buy 100 shares of NVIDIA, it's going to cost me around like 10 racks, all right? So, oh my God. So it's going to cost me about $10,000, right? But instead, what I can actually do is I can buy an option, right? And if I buy an option, I can control 100 shares of NVIDIA for like $500, but I don't have to pay like $10,000, all right? So... So the next thing, all right? Now, if you're buying a put, right, you have the right to sell a stock at a strike price, right? Same exact thing, right? You are paying a juicy premium just for that right to control 100 shares of a stock, right? But it's still far less than actually having to buy the 100 shares of a stock. This is why I like to look at those options buyers. They're desperate gamblers, right? They don't have, a lot of money. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. There's a lot of great people that are great traders, and not me. I'm not smart enough for that stuff, by far from it. And I don't feel like staring at charts all day and doing crazy things till my eyes bleed. All right, I'm not into it. Sure, people do it. 99% of options buyers lose money. Go read any book, go read any statistic. They all lose, right? So, for me, I'd rather just collect their poker chips. Like, honestly, they're paying this premium for this right, and I'm just like, gimme, right? So what are option sellers, right? Full disclosure, to be an option seller, you do need some money, right? It totally depends on the stock, but you do need some money, okay? So if we are selling a call, right? What does that mean? Well, you have the obligation to sell a stock at a strike price. That means that you would need 100 shares of a stock, right? That you're going to do this on. Now, for that obligation, you're actually going to collect that premium. They pay the premium. You're collecting the premium, all right? Then when you're selling a put, you have the obligation to buy a stock at a strike price, right? Meaning you need to have at least, 100 times whatever the share price is, 100 times under is 10 grand, because you have the obligation. You're going to need to buy it if you say you're going to buy it. But you're also collecting a premium, right? Again, right? They're paying the premium. You're collecting the premium. Let me show you this in action. Let's use NVIDIA as our example, trading around 107 today. First things first, we are going to sell a put, right? And let's say we have this put expire, right? Let's say I like to be 30, 45 days. So what we're saying here is, hey, I'm willing to buy NVIDIA in 35 days from now. I'm willing to buy 100 shares of it, right? And for me saying that, I'm going to collect income from an options buyer, okay? And I get to pick my price that I actually buy it for. That's pretty cool. So NVIDIA's trading at 107 right now. We ain't going to buy it at 107. That's how the dumb money does it. We ain't dumb no more, right? We're enlightened, right? So what we're doing now is we're selecting on the left side the strike price that we'd be comfortable buying NVIDIA. Full disclosure, obviously do this on stocks you love to actually own. Don't be weird, then getting into like weird, sketchy stocks. I see that all the time, guys. You guys getting into these weird, sketchy stocks. I'm like, so you got a sign, you should be happy, right? So it's at 107, and let's say, you know what, if it hits 99 bucks, you're like, you know what, Nvidia under 100 is something I don't mind owning. I genuinely don't. I love Nvidia. I'm a long-term Nvidia, and if it does actually hit under 100, I'm willing to buy those shares. So for you just saying that, you would collect $345 from an options buyer. That's coming in. That is credit. That is cash. You can take that money and do whatever you want with it, right? So let's put this in our simple man's calculator, 345. All my calculators, everything on this channel is for free. It's in our Facebook group, okay? And our collateral, right? You have to put up some money on the line, right? Saying you're able to actually do it. Your brokerage isn't going to let you just say you can do something, but then you broke, right? They ain't gonna allow it, right? So you need to use margin, or you preferably have cash in your account. So 99 times 100 is $9,900. Okay, so that collateral gets locked up for that, what's our 35-day period, and I like to put my expiration here in my calculator so I can see my annual return. That gets a 35-day expiration. We're collecting a 3.48% return on our money. Fantastic. I don't know where you're getting about 3.48% on your money anywhere, really, besides doing this strategy and on stocks you like. Right now, you can of course open as many contracts as you want. If you open 9 contracts, obviously you need around $90,000, but you'd collect $3,100 in a single month. Right? Full disclosure, a lot of things can happen here. Right? Well, 2 big things can happen. One, Nvidia drops to $90. You're on the hook to buy it at $99. So you got to be comfortable with that risk. Right? Number 2, the options contract expires worthless. If it expires worthless, your collateral is freed up. You run the play on another company once your collateral is freed up. What happens if you get assigned? Well, here's what we do. Let's assume we did get assigned at $99, right? Now, what we can do is something called a covered call. So now we're going to come here and we're going to sell call, and we'll put about 35 days out. And let's say we want to sell our shares. I'll stay close to the money here, right? So let's just say we bought it at 99 and we're willing to sell our shares at 110. Okay, cool. So I have a covered call calculator as well, free for you, of course. And let's say we're selling at 110. You're collecting $635 in premium here. $635. Well, how much are we selling them for? Did we say 110? 110. Our purchase strike price is $99. For a premium return of 6.42%, if we end up selling our shares, we'd get an $1,100 profit on shares. Big if, right? Because it might not hit 110. We might stay below it. And again, the options contract expires worthless for a total profit on this side of $1,700 plus the $345 on our cash secured put side. Okay? And just like that, we collected $2,000. Now, this would essentially take you about 2 months to do because you're waiting that first month to actually potentially get assigned, right? And then the following month, if you did get assigned, you then obviously are hoping you sell your shares. Now, some people, listen, everybody, all of us have unique strategies and things on how we do things, okay? Some of you don't want to sell your shares. And if you really, really don't want to sell your shares, you probably don't want to run this strategy on it. Me personally, I don't think buying and holding is smart for retail investors. I think buying and holding ETFs and stuff is a very smart play, like buying your monthly portfolio. But buying and holding individual stocks, I think is a losing game for retail investors. Look at Nvidia, for example. If we look at just over the past year, you really didn't make much. If it was trading around like $80 and today it's trading at 107. While if you're doing this strategy I'm sharing with you, you're making money along the way, whether it's going up, down, doing sideways, flips, right? Whatever it's doing, you're getting a side towards the bottoms and then you're selling towards the tops. It's kind of forcing you to lock in profits, right? Because, for me, I got tired of getting screwed over on some of these stocks where I would look at my portfolio and my buy and hold stocks never beat the market. They just never did because I'm not smart enough. And I hate to say you're probably not smart enough to pick winning stocks early enough. Okay. However, that doesn't mean that we can't still make money. So how do we actually know when to buy stocks or sell our cash securities or cover calls? So we're going to quickly do some very basic technical analysis. And this is how I like to do it. This is how I like to break things down. I'm going to go over the chart. I'm just using Yahoo Finance. So you can anytime you can essentially sell your cash secured puts and your covered calls anytime you like. You really can. Anytime. If you really want to, you could do it. However, there are optimal times to do things. So here we are on our chart, and we're just going to add one indicator that I want to share with you: the Bollinger Bands. Add that indicator and put this period as 30. That's going to make this middle line our 30-day moving average, which is 109.34. Okay, so we can see that NVIDIA is trading right in the middle of that Bollinger Band, right at 109, okay? If I just zoom out for a year, I want to show you something. This Bollinger Band basically tells you roughly where a stock is most likely to trade in. It's all fugazi. None of it's actually a reality, but it helps us build a thesis on why we do certain things, right? So we hit the top of the Bollinger Band, we retract towards the bottom Bollinger Band, we hit back up. Sometimes we drop really past below it, but then we retract back up. And it kind of is a gauge on where a stock is most likely to trade. Now, the way you want to look at it, in my opinion, when you're selling options on a monthly basis, is I like to look at the 3-month chart, and then I kind of always want to sell my put, saying I'm willing to buy 100 shares when I'm towards my bottom Bollinger Band. That means the stock is going most likely heavily oversold. People are dumping it. They're getting out. They don't like NVIDIA anymore. It's a trash company. And for me, I still have that conviction if I still have that conviction in a company, I'm going to sell my puts. I'm going to get better strike prices and better premiums. Okay. So for example, at the start of April, this was one of the best times. A lot of people in our community did a lot of puts on NVIDIA here when it hit like $94 and did puts at like 80, right? And then guess what? A couple days later, it shot up to 113. And guess what we were able to do? We were able to close out our position in a matter of days and lock in about 80% of the premium. That's fantastic. This is why it's important. I don't want to say timing the market is important, but there are good times to do certain things. Okay? There are good times to do certain things. Okay? So when we are trading towards this bottom Bollinger Band, that is the best time for cash secured puts to get good strike prices and collect the maximum premium. When we are trading towards the top of this Bollinger Band, that means that the stock is most likely heavily overbought, right? That means a lot of people are pouring into a great earnings. Well, who knows? Because sometimes great earnings and the stock still goes down, like NVIDIA's earnings. But there's positive sentiment. Something happened and the stock is soaring. That's when I like to do covered calls. The way I kind of really like to look at it is like the fear and greed index. When everybody's so excited, they're buying, they're pouring into NVIDIA. They love it. They love it so much. It's the next whatever, right? They're being extremely greedy. This is the time I sell it back to them at a maximum profit. I've taken my emotion. It takes a while, especially if you're a new trader, to take your emotion out of this game. When we're in extreme fear, that's when I'm loading up on stocks that they want to dump. They're scared of. They don't believe it in anymore. They're dumb money, right? Let them go. Right? And then when they're all hyped up on their Mountain Dews and their Doritos, right? Then they're all extremely greedy. They're all excited, right? They love it. We're flying high. Guess what? They ain't making money because they're dumb money, right? They're paper gains, right? They don't know what they're doing, right? They look at a screen and they think they're making money. They're not making money. You only make money when you sell. You only make money when you sell. That's why, again, I don't believe buying and holding individual stocks is a winning game for literally 99% of people. Buy, hold ETFs? Fantastic. Buy and hold individual stocks? No, right? Absolutely not. So when they're all hyped up and they all loving it and they're pouring into it because they love buying at all time. Retail loves buying at all-time highs. Smart people like you sell at all-time highs. You sell at all-time highs, okay? Because you want to lock in gains. You want to lock in gains. Do your own thing. I'm just a dude on the internet in my office. I have literally no idea what I'm even talking about for the last however many minutes we've been on here. But for me, it just makes sense. Take my emotion out of it. And my whole purpose of this, my entire purpose of this, and I made this really a purpose for me. I've been doing this for about 7 years, is there's one purpose of this option selling portfolio. I call it my quad option strategy. There's simply one purpose: to make freaking money, to make real tangible income that I can extract from markets and actually use, not look at paper gains. That is what I'm on, okay? That is what my goal is with this, not to just look at a fictitious number on a keyboard. I don't care if I sold it at 130 here and it ran up to 180 like some of you like to argue. Your what ifs are just so not smart. It is not smart, right? Like your what ifs, I got real gains. That's not a what if. I actually made money. I made real money. You are betting on a what if. Okay, sure, I missed out on, a couple $1,000 or even $10,000. I don't care. I still made money. And guess what? This is the stock market and there's opportunity everywhere. If you want to learn more about this, obviously make sure to drop a comment down below, guys. Every single person is going to get our high IV playbook. And then also while you're down there, hit like, subscribe. And if you're somebody that wants a little bit more of a hands-on approach with me personally, again, everything's free on this channel. The calculator's free in the Facebook group. Join us. It's a vibe. But some of you that want to have more of a hands-on approach with me, I have a 1-year incubator where I work with a very, very small group of clients. So if you were interested in learning more about that, take a look in the description of today's video. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I will see y'all tomorrow.